Hi guys, so today we have fire finally. I do apologize for this long delay between the loadout videos, but I needed to test out the loadout from powers that I've never been a little bit more deeply in terms of giving you a suitable loadout and artifact selection and gear selection. So today, let's go through fire. Now, fire had substantial change, a revamp actually, a couple of long months ago, I do believe, and it turned out to be one of the most successful ones to be changed. So, let's go through the loadout right off the bat of DPS ranged. So we'll start off the rotation with Inferno, that puts the enemies burning. Wildfire, burning enemies will take additional damage. Fire Burst, same result. Mass Detonation, same result, burning enemies take additional fire damage. And Snuff Out. Now Snuff Out is the finisher move of fire, so take note of that, okay? This does a tremendous amount of final damage, let's call it final damage of the rotation, if applied correctly with the correct artifacts, okay? I'm going to tell you the correct artifact loadout, but I don't have the artifacts myself. Okay, this is this is actually the server of PS4 PC. I've tested all the changes, everything. I've tested them on the test server. For some reason, my recording systems do not, and recording apps do not work correctly there. The image gets all blurred out, encoded, quite possibly. I don't know why. But I'm trying to get new software to actually redo these videos at a later date. So let's start with this rotation, okay? And of course, to finalize, when you have the chance, Volcanic Calamity as the Supercharge, okay? So let's start the rotation. This. So as you can see, the numbers don't come very big because I just took advantage of the the free 255 CR skip on this character, so I can change, so I can actually show you a more elaborate character doing this. But of course, I would love to do them on the test server with a fully buffed up character. Unfortunately, that's not possible at this point in time. So this is actually the rotation, okay? Now I do know that there's a few other rotations for single target, but I much prefer using this for max damage, okay? So let's take a look at the artifacts. As you can see, I don't have any artifacts of significance, but here's the loadout of artifacts that you should use in order for this to work correctly, okay? So, Card of Transformation for the obvious critical hit increase and magnitude. La Morte card, because this is going to buff up the finisher move, okay? This will be vital for your finishing move to take even more damage from the enemy, okay? And finally, I would go with Eye of Genesis in order to get the extra might when you launch the Supercharge. So you'll have continuous damage, continuous buffed up damage as you launch the Supercharge. Okay. Now, of course, I'll leave this in your hands. And there are, of course, other artifacts that you can try out. I'm now staying well away, as you might notice, from the amplified heat vision artifact, because that's going to change. Okay, I've already tested it on the test server. It's going to work as intended, so I cannot consider that as a relevant nerf, but a way in which this was supposed to work. So the damage magnitude will be affected because you won't do as much damage per second with the amplified heat vision. So I'm staying away from that with these loadouts. So I'm going to focus on the finishing moves on all of them in terms of and I'm also going to redo the munitions video quite soon, because there is another very good loadout that I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so in this loadout you don't spend a whole lot of power and the artifacts hold up. The damage will be very, very good. Okay, let's jump to tank. Still in combat, need to go away a little bit, and there we go. So this is the loadout of tank. I know that a lot of you guys have different takes on this type of loadout, but in terms of tank, but stick with me, okay? Let's start off with engulf in order to pull the enemies towards you. Backdraft, which will restore additional health when you used against burning enemies. Very good for you to keep your health up while tanking. Stoked flames, decrease the damage dealt but increases the total healing of your character. So if you have these two working in conjunction, this is very good. Emulation greatly increases shield value. However, shield absorbs only 35% damage taken. So all in all, a very good buff for your shield. And this is the shield in flame. Engulf yourself in flames, damaging and knocking down nearby enemies. So this is your shield. This is to avoid hard light shield, which, well, I'm going to be frank, I don't like using those powers when you have powers available on your basic power tree of your actual power type. And as a supercharge, reignition. Erupt in a searing pillar of flame, healing yourself while knocking down nearby enemies and damaging them over time. A very good supercharge for a tank, and also a supercharge cost 5,000, which is the shortest type of supercharge. Okay, let's launch the loadout. Pull, heal buff, heal, shield buff, shield, and then, if available, the supercharge. So this video is a little bit shorter, but I'm going to show you the artifact range. I also don't have all the required artifacts for tank, but I know them all too well. So Let's start off with this new artifact, Lasso of Truth. Very, very good artifact in order for you to replace one of those powers with mesmerizing lasso iconic ability. Now, if you do that, you will get one hell of a push in terms of pulling ability. You will be able to keep the boss near you at all times, okay? So, and they won't move all that much because they will be tethered. So, very, very, very good artifact that was launched with this DLC for tank. In my view, you should replace, when you have the possibility, of course, you will have to pick and choose mesmerizing lasso from your iconic tree. Right, this one. This one here. So, with this one, sorry about that interruption here. We have the mesmerizing lasso that you should replace this one. Engulf. Well, perhaps not engulf should be replaced. Why? Because it puts the enemies burning, and you need that. So, in my view, you either replace one of these shields. Okay, I'll leave that up to you, which one. But that is actually a very good trade-off, the mesmerizing lasso. Believe me, it works wonders. Okay, to pull the enemy and keep the enemy near you, the boss. Once they start moving, just launch that again, or launch engulf to keep it burning, so you can have your health and your shield maxed out. Okay, so this is actually the loadouts that I had prepared to you guys. As for the artifacts, I was starting to go through them. I started off with the one that empowers mesmerizing lasso, the lasso of truth. Manacles of force is a must. You have to have that as maxed out as possible in order to keep your dominance very high and your restoration as well. After that, my idea is mystical symbol of the seven. Okay, that is very good for tank role. I recommend that for every tank, by the way. It's very good. Keeps the enemy really tethered to you and increases your dominance and restoration stats quite well. So you can have actually healing that goes neck to neck with the healer. Okay, this power suffered changes because it was very much of a power grabbing character, because when you launched in DPS you could easily drain the controllers of your group really fast. Right now, not so much. It's a normal power use. Okay, so in tank it's not as dependent of the healer for its own heals. Okay, so this is actually, in my view, one of the best tanks out there currently. Is a fire tank. Okay, this is very challenging. It'll take you a long time to max out, or money to max out manacles of force and the other artifacts, but they are quite necessary for this loadout to work perfectly. Okay, so guys, this is the loadout of fire. As soon as I know more loadouts and more options of artifacts as I try them. I will make more videos entitled DPS Tank Loadout 2021 to 2022 or 2020 Mark II, something like that. Be sure to keep track and subscribe to my channel if you like these videos, and we'll see you on the next loadout video, guys. See ya.